Yeah, 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 yeah. What is going on, Rockstar? How are you? How are you? How are you? Happy Monday evening. In this episode of Get Your Mind Right with Coz, we are going to talk about 5 ways to be your best friend. That's right. 5 ways to be your best friend. So if you want to learn more, stick around. We're going to get into it. If this is the first time you see my face, my name is Coz. I coach Black women with an entrepreneurial mindset so you can build and grow yourself and your business. All right, let's get into it. So, I wanted to talk about this because I had a call today with my coach, and it was enlightening as it always is. And when you are developing yourself and your business, you have to stretch yourself. And I just wanted to share some tips because sometimes I think you get down on yourself. It's like sometimes I feel like um you are your own worst critic. So that's why I want to talk about 5 ways to be your best friend. So let's get into it. I know that you are your hardest critic because I was mine. I truly was my worst critic. Okay. But I had to overcome that because it wasn't fair to me. It wasn't fair to me. It wasn't fair to what I was doing. It just was not fair. So I had to really ask myself, like, if I can be that hard on myself, why can't I be that loving to myself? And sometimes we just have to flip it to really understand why we do some of the things that we do. That's why I'm a huge fan of breaking down things that um when thoughts come into your mind and you're like, okay, and it's a thought that's constant and you don't know why it's there. So if you stop and be like, okay, where did this come from? Why am I believing it? What action? Because you're taking an action because it's constantly popping up in your mind. And then what beliefs, what actions are you taking to reinforce it in your mind? Because you are, because it still constantly comes up. Okay. Huge, huge, huge fan of breaking it down. So I got my notes as always. Okay. Now I want you to think about when you're at a job, or um, you're in school, parent teacher conference, when you're in school, or even when you're in school with yourself and let's say your professor, your teacher, or whoever they critique you. Now, there's 2 ways to look at this. Do they do it in a way that's encouraging? Do they do it in a way that lifts you up? Or do they do it in a way that brings you down? I mean, really think about that. And and depending on your answer, which I'm hoping, I'm truly hoping that they are encouraging you and lifting you up, to be honest. So, or on a job, okay, let's go the negative route for a second. So what if they're critiquing you and it's a bad way? How do you handle that? Like, really ask yourself, how would you handle a negative critique? Is it something that you will mull over in your head? Or would you figure out how to change it? Because how you change behavior is a plan of action. So think about that. So If it's negative, you want to turn it into a positive. And you can almost anything you can turn into a positive. I just want to say that because you want to think about boosting yourself up. You want to think about encouraging yourself more. I'm gonna get into that because I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that later. I don't take lessons. I don't take losses. I take lessons. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay. So let's get into it. And I think because you are your worst critic, that we get these thoughts in our head, and we have to realize where they are coming from. How are they getting there? What are you watching, feeding, listening to? What are you taking in that's making you have those self-critical thoughts about who you are? Okay. Think about it as always trying to be perfect. Think about that. Think about it as you're always trying to be perfect. And even being perfect can be positive if given in the right way, because it can make you successful. The negative part of that is it could be harmful and hurtful to your growth and development. Okay. So let's jump into it. Number 1, you want to talk positive to yourself. This is so huge, because depending on how you talk to yourself on a daily basis, is it positive or is it negative, or is it half and half? Half of the day is positive. When something goes wrong, it's like downhill and it's negative. Like, which one is it? Positive, negative, or is it both? Depending on the day and what you're doing, right? Okay. So number 2, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind. And being kind can come in so many different forms. You could be kind with your words. You could be kind with taking time for yourself. You could be kind with how you eat, what you drink. You can be kind to yourself. Taking time to carve out some time for yourself. Or, I want to write this down because I really want to get into this. You want to make sure you respect yourself. And that's the other. I wanted, because the last one is kind of long. So you want to respect yourself. And respect is such a, I don't want to say it's a a loose term, but a lot of people say they have respect for themselves, but they really don't. They may have respect in that moment. If someone is doing them wrong, then it's like, oh no, you know, respect what, you know how we say it, respect my gangster, respect what I'm doing. But do you really, really respect yourself? Because see, that goes into your morals, values, and principles of who you are. Okay. And the last one is make sure you pat your own self on the back. Don't wait for someone to recognize you, your worth, and what you're doing. You know your worth. You know what you're doing. Pat your own self on the back. Give yourself your own high five. Pat yourself on the back. It is okay. I do it all the time. Yes. And that, okay. So everyone has goals, but when you complete it, crossed it out, or you're going through the day and you're crossing stuff out, and at the end of the day, say you put 3 things on your goal sheet to accomplish today, and you finished all 3, pat yourself on the back, give yourself a high five. How would you say? Celebrate yourself and where you are and where you are going. You have to be your own personal celebration team. You do. Sometimes you do. You just have to. All right. Number 3, no comparing. Comparing is not a good look. It is not. Because what happens with comparing, you're going to look at everything that person is doing, and then you're going to look at everything you're doing. And everything you're doing is wonderful. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. But you're not getting the responses that the other person's doing. So you in your mind feel like you are not doing what is right because you're not getting the responses. It's okay. Do you. Stay in your lane and do you, and you will get there. And I want to, you're like, how did this come from a coach? I would get to the last one is going to explain it all. I'm telling you, number 5 is going to explain it all. Okay. Number 4, we take lessons, not losses. That's what we do. And I say we because I'm still running a business. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. We don't mistakes. We don't take any of them. Lessons. What can we learn from what we did and why didn't it work? That's what we do. We ask questions. We ask strategic questions to help position us better so we can do better. That's why we don't take mistakes or losses. Okay. Number 5. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. I'm gonna tell you my history with being patient. I didn't have no type of patience at all. None whatsoever. I think I grew I grew patience when I had my boys. That's when I grew patience. And even then it was a limited amount. Like I grew patience when I had my boys. I was the most patient person in the you talking about okay. Okay. I'm so impatient. I was so impatient, however you want to say it. I was so impatient that this is so funny. Okay, so my husband used to be at work, used to call me, and he would put me on hold, or like he will answer like the other line and put me on hold. But if like seriously 30 seconds, if he didn't come back, I'm hanging up. Just straight hanging up. 30 seconds, I'm hanging up. I didn't like to wait. I literally like it got to the point that 30 seconds. If he was not understanding what I was saying, hang up. I'm so impatient. I got to the point of being so impatient. Now, when I went to go get my hair did, I did not like sitting under the dryer. Okay. To this day, and the girl who does my hair, she was like, why did you do that? I would wash, condition, and do hair, wash, condition it and everything, put it in a puff, and Afro puff, and get there. And she would ask me, she would be like, Why you you did the best part. What am I supposed to do? Because I don't like sitting in the dryer. It, and I said all of that to say we have to be patient. We really do. This journey of personal and business development, it's a journey. Who you are in life is who you are in business. And we just have to be patient. We do. We have to be patient. And for me to be patient, I'm still here rocking. I'm still here. Still here rocking, still here being patient, still here. Your time will come. It will. It will come for you. It will come for whatever you are doing in your life and in your business. Your time will come. All right, let's go back through it. Number 1, talk positive to yourself. Number 2, be kind to yourself. Take it by, you can be kind in so many different ways. Eating right, drinking the right amount of water. Just be good to yourself. How you treat yourself, what you're listening to. Is it kind? Is it something you're like, ooh, think about those things, okay? Pat yourself on the back and make sure you are respecting yourself. Those are bonuses for numbers. So think of number 2 as 2A, 2B, and 2C. Then number 3, no comparing. Number 4, we take lessons and not losses. And number 4, I said that, number 4. And then number 5, be patient. Be patient, be patient if I can. From the former Miss Impatient to Mrs. Patient. If I can do it, you can do it. Let me know in the comments below, what can you add to this list? How will you be your best friend? Drop it in the comments below. Let me say that again. How will you be your best friend? Put it in the comments below, and I will chat at you later. Ciao.